Yeah.
Okay, now for those, oh boy, I gotta tell you, somebody asked me about the internet connections in the Philippines. I should do a 10-hour special on what garbage we get for internet and electric services in the Philippines. We get absolutely worthless service and quality when it comes to internet connection and electrical connections to the mains or to the which is completely off topic, but we had 17 blackouts last week alone. Some of them lasted a minute, some of them lasted several hours. Each time we had a blackout, we had to open up each Word document and then repost the video that was currently posting, or find a Word document that was closed. And you try to do that 8 or 9 times during the day, and what you end up at the end of the day was, because of a really dirt poor internet service in as far as bandwidth is concerned, complicate that with 17 blackouts in less than 3 days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 4 days. 17 blackouts that I counted. And there were more at night. So each one at night I counted as one, but it could have had 2 or 3. I don't know, because I was sleeping. This is ridiculous. Now, we didn't have a blackout just now. We had a bandwidth problem. Okay, so now I have to start this live stream again, and I'm not in the good mood because it was going so well last time. So I'm gonna put the screen down, and I'm gonna start it in a completely different fashion. But I'm gonna start it with this: every internet provider in the Philippines is worthless compared to what we had in America. Everybody knows this, but no one understands that there are other complications to get internet here, because if you're more than 700 feet away from the trunk line of the internet service, they won't run the wire. So you could be in an area, when you go to the internet service provider in the mall near you, you could be near the internet provider will say, yes, sir, we have internet in your area. Yes, sir, they'll sign you up. They'll tell you it's 2G of Wi-Fi because we don't have the wire in your area at this point. And what you do is you sign up for a 2-year contract, okay? That could be upgraded any time, but then when you go to use your internet Wi-Fi, it doesn't work, but you are still responsible for a 2-year contract. And the only way you can get out of the contract, this is Globe, this is what I looked at, this is what I told them to stick it where the sun doesn't shine. The only way out of the contract is to pay off the 2 years of contract, which typically says they will not move your service to another place. Even if you move next door, they won't move the receiver. They won't acknowledge that the receiver is in a valid location. So you have to pay off the 2-year contract with, I think at the time it was a 3,000 peso penalty. So you pay off 2 years at, let's say, 1,100 pesos a month. So that's 28,000, 24, 23. That's 26,000 plus pesos that you pay off if you didn't like the service after a month or you move, and then a 3,500 peso penalty for early disconnection. That's so you're talking about 30,000 pesos for a service from Globe, which is totally worthless from day one. So what you need to do is you have to get the wire to your house, the hard wire. Okay, now the hard wire is even more complicated because you can upgrade from your 2 gig Wi-Fi to the hard wire. That's no problem. And if you do that without asking every possible question of how you can be screwed, then they'll upgrade you to the wire service, and then they'll tell you You're in the office now. Then they'll tell you, sir, we have a problem. They won't sign you up and commit you to the wire program. Sir, we have a problem. The wire is not in your area. But they already know the wire isn't in your area because they already know where you are. So they sit you down for 45 minutes in the office and waste 45 minutes of your time telling you they have to look things up and blah, blah. They already know it's on a map. They push a button on a computer. Your house shows up, where your service is, and where the wire ends, and they don't tell you that. So for 45 minutes, they keep you sitting in a chair in your office just so that they can make their work, make it look like they're busy at their job. And they all do the same thing. I've been to 2 different offices. They both said, hold on. I already knew the answer. What I was trying to do was grease somebody to get something done. But I couldn't even do that. So the internet service in the Philippines is horrible. It's horrid. It's just beyond. I have to restart my live stream. I had to restart other things. I have to restart loading videos since the last live stream. I lost my train of thought. And to top it off, Globe and Smart are the same equally garbage service providers in the Philippines. And as far as their phone service is concerned, they rob and rape every subscriber and person that has a cell phone in the Philippines. And the people here eat it up like cookies and cream ice cream because they don't know any better. You put a load for $5. A Filipino weeks, 250 pesos, $5. 350 pesos is good for a month. And then if you used it, it disappears. If you used it, you used it. You can't, you could make an unlimited amount of text, let's say. But if you made 2 texts, you lose it after a month. So basically, the providers are doing nothing for you at all. Nothing, nothing, nothing for you at all. They give you 25 or 30 texts that you make over the course of the next 3 weeks. Say you have a business deal, and that's all you needed it for the 1 month, so you could get your messages in and send them back out instantly. They charge you $7 or a day and a half's pay for the average Filipino, and then they take the money out of the account and put it in their pocket without providing nothing more than a few texts in some cases. Smart does it, Globe does it, and to prove how much they're screwing everybody in the Philippines, go to any airport and look on the side of any plane, and what does it say? Or any cargo container that comes up to the planes, or where they store the cargo, or the ramps that go up to the plane. It either says smartphone service, smart internet service, or Globe internet service on over 300 containers and ramps in Manila. You think those things are cheap to throw an 8-foot by 40-foot plastic logo on the side of a cargo container? It ain't cheap. The whole airport is plastered with Globe and this is how they get that money. You put a 20 peso load in, a Filipino works a half an hour for a 20 peso load, and they get exactly 2 days to use the load. After that, if they made 1 text or 50 texts, they lose the load. That money should be saved forever. It doesn't cost Smart or Globe anything to keep that money in the bank for the people for when they need it. It doesn't cost them nothing to keep it in the bank. And after 2 days, 90% of the small loads that are put onto the cell phones, the money is removed from, well, 90% of them only use a partial amount of texts that they had of a maximum amount of text. Smart, Globe, internet service, cell phone service in the Philippines is right across the board is garbage. Now I'm going to go back to where I started before my internet went out. This is, by the way, this is not the first time. It's the first time during my live stream. It happened this morning at 6 o'clock, and I said, well, I'll try to get this live stream out. So I'm going to get this live stream out. We're going to start again. I'm going to do a shout out from one of my favorite channels on YouTube, and then I'm going to discuss Blind Owl Outdoors and why I redressed his videos and why I dismantled and dissected some of the work ethics in his videos. Why I did that? I'm going to tell you why I did that. I did that for a very specific reason. And I'm also going to, besides the shout out and addressing Blind Owl Outdoors' videos and why I did the follow-ups on the videos, I'm going to address a Skywatch for a Manny Skywatch East, you're not going to believe what they're doing to the skies here in the Philippines. You're just not going to believe what they did to the skies in Florida that I used to live in Key Largo, and now I live in the Philippines, and they have done the same thing here in the Philippines, maybe worse. So let me go get my notes and get my brain back together, because this is ridiculous, starting videos and starting live streams and having a blackout or a loss of internet service where you have to keep